Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal branding and business development company. I want to take you on a journey that takes another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal story, business conversations, and tips to improve your personal brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand podcast series, you will be able to differentiate yourself from the competition and allow you to build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build trust, and reflect who you are. Developing your 5-star personal brand is a great way to demonstrate your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh, spelled M-C-G-A-U-G-H, at 5-star BDM, B for brand, D for development, M for masters.com. Now let's begin with our next 5-star episode on Follow the Brand. Hello, everyone. I'm Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, where we help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. And if you are looking to transform your career trajectory, today's episode of the Follow Brand podcast is going to be a game changer. And I am happy to introduce my partner in this mission, Ondreia Clarke, a powerhouse in healthcare and STEM leadership with over 25 years of experience. Her journey from an entry-level hospital transporter to spearheading nationwide initiatives with the NIH and Mayo Clinic is inspiring. But what truly sets her apart is her dedication to making this knowledge accessible to help others rise. Together, Ondreia and I have created Lead with Impact, an intimate, transformative experience for serious leaders. This workshop is unlike any other. From the immersive boardroom simulations to executive etiquette training, it's designed to fill critical skill gaps, instill confidence, and help you take control of your professional story. Whether you are ready to secure that next promotion or amplify your executive presence, this episode will reveal how Lead with Impact can empower you to move forward with intention and purpose. So let's dive in and explore what it truly means to lead with impact on the Follow Brand podcast, where we are building a 5-star brand that you can follow. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Follow Brand podcast. We are going to West Palm Beach today because I have a partner in crime. People don't know that. I have a partner. I have somebody that I am working with passionately to bring something to the table of people that are looking to really to enhance their leadership skills, to get to another level. Sometimes a lot of people, they feel stuck. They're in a rut. They keep doing the same thing and getting the same result, but they're trying to get to a higher level, but they can't find the right, either it's academia, they can't find the right mentorship, they can't find the right advocates, they can't get the as they say, I can't get right. There's that term right here that is, can't get right. It's a term, right? So we're trying to circumvent a lot of that with our Lead with Impact workshop that's going to come up in January. But I want you to talk to my partner because she's the one that approached me and said, Grant, I got something. I see what you're doing, and I think we can combine our efforts and really make some strides and things that will make these things go a lot further by not doing it just alone. So collaboration is king, right? Capital is king. Content is king. We're going to talk about all those different things. Welcome to the stage, Miss Ondreia Clarke.
Thank you so much, Grant. I am so excited to be on the 5-Star BDM podcast. It's been a long time coming, but I made it.
You did. See that? 5-Star BDM. Then you got Follow Brand podcast. These are my signature brands. And we're coming out with a signature branded program, Lead with Impact. Tell us first just a little bit about your backstory and why you felt that this would be a great program for up and coming professionals and executives?
Well, I always try to identify kind of the gaps and the missteps or the things I wish I would have knew then that I know now as far as a career and professional perspective. So just a little bit about myself. I've been in the healthcare STEM profession for the past 25 plus years now. Can't believe that much time has went by, but well over 2 decades now. I've been in multiple spaces. I've had the luxury and privilege to pivot in multiple spaces in my life. As a professional, I started off in a very much entry level role, working as a hospital transporter. But I've always believed in, just executing your best, and you never know who's watching you in that process. So I've been, like I said, privileged enough to be around some extraordinary eagles in the field of healthcare as well. So although I started off in as a hospital transporter, I managed to get like a full diaspora of healthcare going into the clinical setting, working with colon and rectal and gastroenterologists and pulmonologists, going into cardiovascular imaging and just all those bedside clinical settings. And then I was able to navigate over into the non-clinical role, something more like bench research on the molecular genetic side, tuberculosis research, things of that nature, and then also assisting researchers as they bring those pilots of research into their classrooms to help undergraduates bridge. You don't always have to go into the med school role. It's kind of giving them that early exposure as research and bench laboratory scientists in those undergraduate years. So we facilitated a lot of educational programs in that way, in that manner. And then I went ahead and transitioned over now into laboratory medicine. Those are more biological specimens that come in down, the tubes at the bottom of the hospital, and you have a whole bunch of brilliant scientists in their own right working through a lot of biological specimens so we can make sure we get the results and proper treatment. So I went into that role. And then from there, I was at the National Institute of Health in the laboratory science space. And then from there, I reconfigured their entire operations. We had a client vendor partnership with Mayo Clinic. The senior representatives or executives rather was very impressed with what I did there. So they flew in from Rochester, Minnesota down to Washington, D.C. and said, we have to meet you. We really love the processes, the systems and operations that you've facilitated here. Can you take what you've done here at NIH and do it for us on a national scale? So like I always say, challenges are just opportunities with work clothes on. So I was up for the opportunity. So I went ahead and did a more of executive role, leadership, building teams, delegating responsibility, identifying people's strengths and weaknesses, and knowing where to put them and place them as we basically expanded this model through different hospitals nationwide. I did all of that. I would say from the comfort of my home in Washington, D.C., but I traveled quite a bit in that role, of course. So going through all those processes and different stages as a professional in my career, I was able to identify gaps of wishing that even though I'm executing this role, this particular role, I used to want to have new skills, new visibility, because what I realized and what I learned as I was up for a new promotion with Mayo Clinic, they wanted me to go in a specific direction, but I really wanted to go in a different direction. But guess what? I didn't have the skills or the exposure. So that's what I saw within myself that, if I don't take the initiative to learn the skills that's applicable and desirable for me, then what happens is the organization drives my career and I'm no longer in the seat of driving my career and where we're going. And that's where I came to you with this idea, and we, been fostering this love child, as I call it, together of saying, how many other professionals are, stellar in their roles, but they are looking for other opportunities. But they're just, the gap is the skill, maybe the jargon, or not only the skills, but how to apply it, And I know that was a gap for me. You can be in really large institutions, but you can still feel unfulfilled in a lot of ways. So it's, like I said, this workshop, this summit that we're putting on is to fill in those gaps and ultimately allow you to drive your career in the direction you deem for it to be.
I like that, what you just said. Be in control, be intentional about taking control of your career and your business. I do a lot when I'm big into personal branding, business development. They work hand in hand. And I learned over time, just like you have now learned, is that if you're not intentional about narrating your own story, your own skill set, what you're good at, other people will write a narrative about you. And you could be stuck in that story that they're narrating for a very, very long time. You see that over and over again, that a person, maybe they make that hop from manager to director. Or like you said, you could be in that transporter role and someone sells you in that role for a long time. But you said, no, I'm more than that. That's just the beginning. I needed that as a stepping stone for other things. You had to make the decision to then upskill. You are the CEO of upskills. I'm going to upskill because we are evolving. We are creatures that evolve over time. And when we have mastered one type of experience or skill set, now we're ready for the next. But what you said, there's that gap. And in our conversations, you've always told me, Grant, I got to this point, I was doing great things, I'm building out those laboratories, but I'm not understanding the other business ramifications all around me, the financial conversation that's happening, the business processes that are happening, the operational aspects. How do I gain that type of experience if there's no training for it, or I'm not being offered that kind of training? I'm not in any kind of leadership pipeline, but I need to start to showcase who I am and take control of the narrative. Talk to us a little bit more about lead with impact, why you decided on that particular topic, and then how we're going to drill into that during our workshop.
Yeah. So, and you hit the nail on the head. It was that any promotion, because it became a great rhythm in my professional trajectory that I was getting promotion every year and a half, 2 years. So with a promotion, it's more responsibility. You're more busy. The calendar is booked. You have conferences. You're flying here. You're, like I said, delegating responsibilities. So how do you even find the time to gain these new skills, right? How do you find the time to say, you know what, not only gain the new skills, but learn how to apply them in a real world setting? And that's what we're here to do with the Lead with Impact Summit. It's to break you away from that busy schedule, because I know we're all so busy in our day-to-day lives with family, work, and et cetera. But to give yourself a weekend just to put you on your calendar, right? And say, no, I know it's a pivot that is going to occur in my career and I want to be ready for it. Or I want the visibility as a specific type of leader that I see for myself. And I want to start building that foundation first, because I always say you have to build your house on a solid foundation. So this is for those individuals. Doesn't matter how big and fancy your title is or how large the organization is. Do you feel fulfilled? Do you see yourself in this position for the next 5, 10, or even 3 years from now, right? And if the answer is no, if you're feeling stuck in your career trajectory, then it's time to break through that glass ceiling and join this transformative 2-day summit as we equip healthcare professionals, entrepreneurs, or those that's just trying to go to the next level and get the visibility skills. And we will put you in a world-class case study and structural environment so you can put the skills to the test, so you can create the narrative and the story with other thought leaders as you apply these new skills for yourself.
So important. I know when we were putting this together, this love child, as you have so intimately called it, which is beautiful because it's taking time. People don't understand the what takes place behind the scenes and how you move from a vision and then an idea to actually manifesting it into an actual structured and well thought out program. And that's what we have put together, because me and you both have gone through conferences, we've gone to events, we've been on webinars, we've done all these different things. And it's always like, well, what did I learn? What was my key takeaway? Did I have a measurable, tangible document, experience, takeaway, something that I can refer back to over and over again to get to my desired state? What does that look like? And so we painstakingly put this together like, hey, what is that big thing that we always wanted at some of these webinars or events that we want to put into our program to make it different, to make it fulfilling? So I want you to talk to me as if I am an interested attendee. And I go, hey, Andre, I heard what you and Grant were talking about. It sounds interesting. Take me through day one. Exactly what am I going to get for my money?
Well, that's a great question. And this is something, like you said, I want to touch on. Most conferences you go to and you have extraordinary panelists there, and they're talking about their experience and they're giving their expertise and their perspective on a particular topic. But like you said, this is something we want you to walk away and say, no, I know this information and I also know how to apply it. And I know how that helps in a competitive market as you break through the next stage in your career. So what's going to set this workshop particularly apart is this, first of all, it's an exclusive workshop, Grant. I don't know if you really put that out there. We're going to hand select a group because it will be a waiting list for this, right? But it's called Lead with Impact for a reason, because we want to make it intimate, exclusive, and we want to make it as impactful as possible. So we did hand select a group of professionals who will immerse themselves in highly engaging, dynamic educational environment. So unlike your traditional workshop, this event is going to provide real-world case studies, interactive sessions, a direct access to industry leaders, and it's going to offer you an unparalleled opportunity to develop those critical thinking skills and those critical leadership skills needed. So we're going to give you a seat at the table, right? We're going to give you a secure seat at the table that you don't have to wait for that next promotion. You promote yourself. So it's not only about leadership. It's with your career. It's about you. You are, the subject matter expert. And so what are you going to do to skill up to the next level? So that's what we do. We create an environment of other like-minded individuals, bring you to that round table on day one. What you will go through is you're going to make sure that you gain the technical skills, the jargon, the insight, leadership, different strategies, how to think more innovative, and how to create an innovative team, right? So when I started off in my department, this department wasn't built yet. I literally had a laptop. They sent me home and said, build it, right? So it was me and like a few recent undergraduates. But how did I innovate them and make them so bought into the vision that they not only excelled in their role, but they exceeded above and beyond to help make that department for what it is? So we're going to talk about ways that you can pour into your team, because you have to have a team for the task, as a leader. And you're going to learn direct industry leaders' tactics and experts, like I said, jargons and skill. You're going to network with professionals and build valuable connections in the process. So that's going to be day one, that hands-on breakout sessions, developing strategic operational alignment skills. Day two, we're going to put your skills to the test. So you're going to learn, like I said, in a real world scenarios through different case studies. Like we said, we're going to secure your seat at the table. When you step into this space, you officially are invited to those tables of other thought leaders by applying your new skills to solve critical challenges alongside with other executives so you can know how you can stand out in a competitive marketplace.
Ready to elevate your brand with 5-star impact? Welcome to the Funnel Brand Podcast, your gateway to exceptional personal growth and innovative business strategies. Join me as I unveil the insider strategies of industry pioneers and branding experts. Discover how to supercharge your business development, harness the power of AI for growth, and sculpt a personal brand that stands out in the crowd. Transform ambition into achievement. Explore more at firestarbdm.com for a wealth of resources. Ignite your journey with our Brave Brand Blueprint and begin crafting your standout 5-star teacher today.
So, and then I haven't even talked about the wine tasting. And
we're not going to go there yet. We're not going to feed them. Right now, they're consuming.
It goes on and on.
Oh, there you go. This is going to be a blockbuster event that we're putting together, but you're going to have key takeaways. We're talking about situational awareness. Mm-hmm. We're talking about emotional intelligence. We're talking about how you can be your behaviors that you need to exude to operate at that next level with key executives. So let's say you're in marketing, but you don't understand how finance operates or their mindset. What does that look like? Do you understand the language of business, which is finance? You understand the language of operations or the language of technology? You have put together all these different scenarios to help people have those discussions, because at that higher level, you have to be more holistic.
Yes.
And you not only are developing this, you have other programs that you also have developed that are like a precursor to this. Talk to them about the Brave online course that you created with me.
Well, I was gonna say we created that.
We created, but you because you've got other modules, not just mine, other things. Talk about that and how that then leads into the Lead with Impact workshop that are key takeaways for our audience.
Yes, that's good. So I hope I don't butcher this quote, but like Maya Angelou say, you can't exercise any act in your life without courage, right? So I'm paraphrasing that, of course, but that's what the Brave course does. It allows you, like I said, we often sit and we have the roles and the salary, but are you really where you want to be? Can you confidently say, this is where I see myself in the next 2, 3, 5, 6 years? And if the answer is no, then you need to be brave, right? So what we did with Upskill, and what Upskill is, it is an online global community that brings expert level health science and STEM professionals together. We collaborate with STEM professionals such as yourself, Grant, and we tap into your expertise and your experience and your knowledge, and we say, share that with our community, So that's what we did with the Brave course. We know that you are a stellar expert in your field, and you're also a very much an eagle in your community as well. So we want to bring you to the people that may not haven't arrived yet to penetrate your circle of networks yet, right? So we want to make an accessible vehicle to them to say, you know what, I may not be able to attend all the events to shake Grant's hand, but I can still tap into his knowledge and his expertise with the Brave course professional branding framework. Because as we know, this digital era that we all live, grow, and thrive in, your professional presence online, that is the new handshake, right? And that's what the Brave course, that's what you taught us throughout the Brave course. And I love the unique thing about your course is that as the students or the participants take the Brave professional course, you're completely transforming their image module by module, because we have actionable steps that you will go throughout the course. So by the time you started module 1, you will come out with consistency and diligence. By the time you end module 6, you will definitely have reimagined yourself as a professional through this course. And that's why I really want to thank you for giving us your expertise and lending that to the online platform, because it's really, through this course, it's a transformative process that they're going to be at. So if they see themselves in a different role, you're literally giving them the blueprint and say, hey, do this, do this, do this. And I think we even have a social media challenge. You're teaching them their elevator pitch. You're teaching so many things. And then at the end, it's like, or not even at the end, at one of the modules, hey, now you have to challenge yourself to post this on social media. So you're really transforming them right throughout the course.
Yeah. And you're making it comfortable. A lot of people don't post certain things because they're not comfortable. They're not sure exactly what it is that would be interesting to someone else. And so I lead in that world. I lead with impact in that world. So you alluded to what I'm doing, especially in Q4 of 2024, going into 2025, is that we need to lead. And if we don't lead, we get left behind. Right. So what are we, how do we lead? What do we do? It is time to tell your story. I often tell people that you are in the unique position to be a mentor to the person you were 5 years ago. And really think about, where were you in 2019, even before COVID? What were you doing? What was life like? And here we are in 2024, and that little 5 year window of time for a lot of people, including myself, there's a lot of experience, a lot of change, a lot of challenge. But how often do we really go back through that and sift out all the day to day? And say, wow, there were some key pivots, some key things. And I actually learned some nuggets along the way. And you already know that someone else is coming into that same kind of experience that you were in. Wouldn't it be great if you gave them some pointers to make that experience even better? And that's why we developed the Lead with Impact, because we both know that when you get to a certain level, you know what? I want to move from director to VP, but I'm just not sure. I'm not confident. I want it, but how do I get there? What does the path forward really look like? And what skill sets do I really need to tune into to get the acumen or the relationships? Part of the Brave framework, I talk about relationships, part of that R. You got to understand how to create meaningful relationships, not just get a bunch of connections. That's not the goal. The goal is to create relationships. And when I met Ondreia, and I did meet her through the National Association of Health Services Executives, we met. We were on this great executive leadership forum. I got to meet her and her husband and what she was doing. And then we reconnected, and I started seeing her content on LinkedIn. But then we took it to the next level. We're in the DM, which is the direct messaging. Hey, what's going on? How are you doing? I like what you're doing. Hey, let's talk. So now we take it off platform. We have a conversation, and we start really getting to know each other. And I'm like, man, I'm impressed with what you do. And she's telling me she's impressed with what I do. Why don't we start putting something together? This is the collaborative fabric. And then we can make change, real change for someone else, to really say, you know what? I took this course, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be at that next level, whether it was manager, director, VP, C-suite executive. And this was the change. Can you imagine 5 years from now, 2029, someone's going to be able to say that this was the moment of change for me. How much is that worth? That's what's golden in that mind. So I want to give that mic back to you and talk this, because we thought there's a little special treat we're giving to our special cohort of individuals that are going to bring this all together. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the special treat, and what you say, and this is something I always, if you're like on the cusp, should I take it? They are resonating with some points of how I'm feeling. I'm ready to pivot. I'm ready to try something new. One of the favorite quotes I always say to myself is, life is a fight for territory. And if you stop fighting for what you don't want will show up. And that creeps up on us when we stay in our comfort zone. So this Lead with Impact Summit is meant to pull you out of your comfort zone so you can continue to grow. And then growing, we want to not only focus on that professional aspect, but this is a time to collaborate with other industry leaders in the field to bring in the culinary aspect of it. So this is where business and culinary intersects as well. So what you're saying, the special treat that we have is, not only are we going to have this event on an educational, environment such as Miami-Dade College, we're educating you to take your skills to the next level, right? And then always thinking, what can we give more? What more value can we give? You know what? Now, when you're networking in new places and building those organic, authentic relationships, right? Then you want to make sure that you are diverse, just like your finances. You want to diversify yourself, right? Across the board. And that's the treat we're giving you, is that we're offering the wine tasting and food pairing education session that's going to be hosted by a top tier culinary chef. So that's going to be day 2. So after we've packed your brain with all this information, you've survived the executive alignment boardroom meeting. Now it's time to elevate your palate and take it to the next level with fine cuisines and a chef to come in and really educate you on food pairing and wine and what that looks like to the executive that you are.
That's delicious. Number one, that's
it's going to be
delicious. Going to be delicious. But we're creating the environment that key executives, top executives find themselves in. We want you to be comfortable in these rooms, these new rooms that you're going to go into, whether it's the boardroom, whether it's a high-end lunch or a packed dinner. These are the types of things and conversations that take place. And we want this to be very natural for you. So we're creating the environment of what the C-suite actually operates as. I like the fact that you're doing these real world scenarios, that we're going to actually simulate the boardroom. You're going to have a role. You're going to be part of a team. We have like a cohort or like 40 people. And we're going to divide those into about 6, 7, or 8 teams. And they're going to sit down with each other, going to collaborate with each other. And each of you will be assigned a certain role. You're going to be operations. You're going to be finance. You're going to be marketing. You're going to be technology, all of those different things. Then you brought up something that just blew me away when you thought about it. It's like, hey, Grant, one thing I struggle with when I'm building out all these labs and I'm doing all this great work and getting all these accolades, I wasn't understanding the financial conversation. We're bringing in a subject matter expert around that. Talk to us a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm really excited. We're bringing around in a subject matter expert who has over, 20, 30 years of experience in that financial sector of healthcare. So bringing her in is going to be a phenomenal experience because, like you said, it's so many different branches when it comes to healthcare, right? And a lot of times, even whenever you're moving forward in your prospective role, and you could be knocking it out the park, doing an excellent job. And in my role, I was doing a fantastic job. We're scaling, we're growing, revenue is increasing. They're coming back and they're telling me the numbers. But the gap was, how did you come up with these numbers? And being the fact that we grew over 400% in incremental revenue just for that first year, what does that mean across the board, right? But I didn't get any of those answers because they needed me to keep executing in the role, right? So I wanted to drive my career in a different direction. And how do you do it? You have to surround yourself with eagles in the field that will take you higher. So that's definitely what our CFO is coming in here to do she is an eagle in her own right. And she's coming in to give you that financial jargon and show you what the finances look like and how it impacts the institution as a whole. So you can, like you said, Grant, have that more holistic outlook and see how all the working parts are really a system thinking mechanism working together as a whole.
So important. So we're going to wrap up. This is wonderful. And I want to let the people know, first of all, how they can get the content. They can take a look at it for themselves, take a look at their schedule, but this is going to take place in January, Miami-Dade Medical Campus. So it's a great opportunity for people that are in healthcare and life sciences and business to truly come together and with a great takeaway. Just don't have another just weekend of fun, relaxation, and then at the next day, you haven't really gained anything out of it. You're going to gain something out of this. So talk to us first, how to get in touch with, how to sign up for the Lead with Impact, how to get a hold of your course, and where's your website?
Okay, so my website, I'll start backwards here. My website is upskilledu.net. That's upskilledu.net. And you will see that we're launching a lot of new courses. We have our Brave professional branding course out, hosted by Grant McGaugh. That's a phenomenal course. It ties really into what we're doing with the Lead with Impact Summit. If you're ready to take your professional persona to the next level, you want other leaders to see you as a peer in the field, then definitely take that Brave professional branding impact professional branding course. So definitely take the Brave professional branding course that really gives you actionable steps. Like I said, your course, I really do love it because from module 1 to module 6, you will not be the same. If you take on all of Grant's challenges, it will really transform you. So we have that course and we have a lot of other courses to fill in those skill gaps of practical skills that you need as a professional to soar higher in your field, right? It's about going higher and higher and driving your career where you want it to go. I'm big on that, right? So also with our Lead with Impact, we have a listing right now on Eventbrite. You can check out my LinkedIn page, which is Ondreia Clarke and Grant at 5-Star BDM, as well his business page. We're going to have a lot of landing pages on that where you can click on, sign up. Like I said, we have a survey going out. So if you're on the fence, like, okay, is this really for me? Let us know, send us a message, and we will definitely survey you. And we want to make sure it's just as much as a good fit for you as we are. We want to make sure you are a good fit for the program just as much as we are a good fit for you, right? So ask us any questions you may have. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Lead with Impact. You don't have to wait until the new year comes. You can start reimagining yourself right now. I don't make New Year's resolution. Your life is happening now, right?
What she said is so important because it's limited seating. So sign up now, get on the wait list. Let's have a conversation, ask your questions, when the surveys come out, we're going to send it out to select people. If you're listening to this particular podcast and you're interested, send me a note. Send me a email at grant.mcgaugh at 5-Star BDM. You can go to my website. That's the number 5-Star, STAR, BDM.com. You can also Google Lead with Impact with Ondreia and Grant, 5-Star BDM. It'll come up. So we're going to be all over the place, but we want to get this done. And we want to make this a continuous type of learning experience for a lot of people. So I want to thank you for being on the Follow Brand Podcast. Thanks for joining us on the Follow Brand Podcast. Big thanks to Full Effect Productions for their incredible support on each and every episode. Now the journey continues on our YouTube channel, Follow Brand TV series. Dive into exclusive interviews, extended content, and bonus insights that will fuel your success. Subscribe now and be a part of our growing community, sharing and learning together. Explore, engage, and elevate at Follow Brand TV series on YouTube. Stay connected, stay inspired. Till next time, we will continue building a 5-star brand that you can follow.